Welcome to Lighting for Profits.
All light.
Powered by Emery Allen.
Get rid of your excuses.
Your number one source for all things landscape lighting.
That's where the magic can happen. You can really scale a business.
We really had to show up for each other.
From lighting design, install, sales, and marketing.
You're a scaredy cat salesman, Kurt.
We discuss everything you need to know to start and grow a successful landscape lighting business.
What do you think a hippo has to do with your business, Ryan?
Usually it's some weird childhood thing. Some bully kicked your butt.
I think the key factor here is trust.
Here is your host, Ryan Lee.
All light. Welcome to the number one show in landscape lighting. That's right. It's Lighting for Profits, powered by Emery Allen. We got an amazing show lined up. Happy Halloween, by the way. Today's the big day. Happy Halloween. One of my most favoriteest holidays. And decided to dress up last minute. I was like, crap, it's Halloween. We got to get some stuff. And my kids were dying. Like, Lindsay got home. You got to check out Dad. He looks hilarious. So I love Halloween. It's kind of fun. Just, dressing up like someone you always wanted to be. This is like my alter ego. I wish that I was born in the 50s so I could grow up in the 70s and just be a hippie and do disco and drugs and all this stuff. Like, I just think that would have been so cool. So I'm a wannabe drug addict. But listen, this is the number one show in Nebraska today. Now, our guest is, I think, originally from there. I should have clarified. I always forget to ask like very important questions before I hit the go live button. But she's not there today. But we're the number one landscape lighting show somewhere. And I'm excited, you guys. If you're looking to start or grow a landscape lighting business, you're definitely in the right place. We're here to educate and motivate to help you dominate. That's what this show is all about. If you're here, say hello. We've got some live people. I'd love to discuss this show with you live. So say hi in the comments. We're going to do the gift card giveaway today. That's exciting. So we're going to give you guys some money for sticking around and being part of the show. And of course, if you're listening later, that's okay too. We still love you. In fact, most people listen to the show later. So don't feel bad about yourself. And as a reminder, we're always asking for 5-star reviews. So it's not the easiest thing. I can't just send you a link real easily. But if you just go into Apple and then you just go down and then it shows the stars and then you hit 5 stars and then it says write a review and then you just write a quick review. I would really, really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. And then our guest, by the way, Angela Schroeder, which I'm so excited. I met her earlier this year, and she's with Unique Genius, but she's an author. She's a business person. She's a motivator. She's a life changer. And I'm telling you, like, she brings happiness and joy to the room. She's always smiling. She's someone that you want in your life because she just like exudes positivity, right? And I'm like, surely she's got to have a bad day, but it's never been when I've been there. So just a great human being. I'm excited to pick her brain. She's had a lot of success already in life, and she's making major moves right now. So I'm excited to have her on. So make sure you stick around unless you don't care about being happy. If you're like, no, I just want to be miserable and sad all the time, this probably isn't your episode. But come on, stick around. It's going to be good for you. So I'm excited to have her on. What's up, Lions? Good to see you on here. Nice to see you a couple weeks ago at the GIE. I love Halloween, you guys. I used to have a haunted house, believe it or not. Not going to tell the story now, but yeah, I used to own a haunted house. A couple of announcements. Still interviewing for a salesperson, interviewing for an event CEO and a training facility manager here in Utah. That's the only one that's local position. The other ones are remote. So if you think, man, I don't know if I'm happy with what I'm doing right now, and maybe I want something new, or maybe you know someone that wants a restart, hit me up. Just send me an email at support@ryanleecoaching.com, and we can fill you in on the details on these positions, and maybe there's a good fit, right? Some are part-time, some are full-time. If you're looking for something new, hit us up, support@ryanleecoaching.com. So, want to thank Emery Allen. I found this music. This was good for today, right? I got my hippie clothes on. Guys, performance matters. You know this. This is a true statement for a lot of things, including the kind of lighting you use. Don't sell yourself short with your customer by using budget-level products. Emery Allen is at the top of their game when it comes to performance. Take their VA rating, for example, lowest in the industry. What does that mean? Well, it means efficiency. So with a low volt ampere rating, you're able to drive more bulbs on a circuit with a given transformer rating. With lower quality bulbs and that same transformer, you won't be able to put as many lights on the same circuit. So this is going to help save you money. It's going to help increase your efficiency. And listen, now's a great time to switch. Make the switch to Emery Allen. Just email our guy, Tom Garber, his email, tomg@emeryallen.com, tomg@emeryallen.com. If you email him and say, hey, listen, I heard about this crazy guy who was dressed up on Halloween. His name's Ryan Lee, but he said you'd give me the best pricing. That's how you get it. Just mention Lighting for Profits when you email tomg@emeryallen.com. He'll hook you up. So Tom's been a great partner. The Emery Allen family, they're awesome. And everyone I run into is like, heck yeah, their stuff is actually amazing, right? So check them out, tomg@emeryallen.com. And again, you guys, we got Angela Schroeder coming on in just a couple minutes. She is with Unique Genius. We're going to talk about what Unique Genius is. It's basically we just hired her, actually. She's got a business that helps connect you with a VA. And VAs are kind of like new in the home service industry still, but what she does is incredible. So I'm excited to have her on. But we're not just going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some of the other things she's done, because she really is just a joy to be around. And everyone needs more happiness in their life. It's not a bad thing. So stick around for that. But before we have her on, I want to talk about something real quick. This last week I left town, and when I got back, it was cold. I got off the airplane. I was like, crap, it's cold. Winter's here. Right. And there's snow in the mountains, and the mornings are like in the 20s and the afternoons 40s and the 50s. And they did say it's supposed to warm up, but still, it's just been cold. Right. Winter is coming, and you can't stop it. There's nothing you can do. It's just going to happen. Right. And I see a trend that happens pretty much this time of year for the majority of lighting businesses. And some of them, it happens a little bit earlier, like September, October, but a lot right now. And there's this weird transition between the seasons, right? In a lot of areas. If you're in Florida, this is not that doesn't happen. You guys don't get seasons. Maybe it's the opposite. Like when it warms up, it's like getting cold in the northern markets. But in most areas, landscape lighting has this weird slowdown, right? Because it gets cold outside, and people, they're not as likely to go outside, and so typically the phone rings a little bit less. Like not as many people are calling for landscape lighting when it gets cold and stuff like that. So. But most business owners kind of get used to it. And I've noticed that a lot of people even almost kind of expect it, where they're like, it's the slowdown's coming. And here's the thing, like a lot of people do holiday lighting. And so, you got some big months coming ahead. You're like, and the thing is, some companies are doing 50%, some even like 90% of their revenue in October, November, and December. Like imagine that in 3 months, you're doing like the majority, half or more of your revenue just in 3 months, which is impressive. But that knowledge comes at kind of an expense, right? You got some big revenues coming in. I see it all the time. The tendency is to let off the gas, and you accept the cards that you're dealt with, because, the end of the summer and you got some big numbers pouring in, whatever, right? But this is very, very dangerous. The reason it's very dangerous is because when you let your guard down like that, a lot of things can happen. And being complacent could be the difference between you making money or not, right? Could be the difference between you even being able to replace yourself, to get more freedom, and so on. And some people say, I don't want to replace myself. I love what I'm doing. And like, that's great. But do you love every piece of what you're doing? Like every day, are you just like, oh my gosh, I love this. I can't wait to go deal with this upset client. I can't go wait to deal with the crew that walked off the job or whatever, right? There's certain areas that are amazing about business, and we all find our little groove of what we love about it. But then there's areas that suck, right? So my goal is to help you guys replace yourself in those areas that you are not good at and you don't want to do, right? So think about it. If you can get creative, instead of accept the natural slowdown that happens, and instead generate more leads, close more deals, think about the consequences of that, right? So some of you are in climates that freeze, and you got to have a few months of savings saved up. So think about how you're going to generate that money. Others could afford to buy a truck, hire another salesperson, get your first shop, or hire an office manager. I mean, there's a lot of potential consequences of you being able to make a difference and avoid that lull. If you can power through the lull and actually not just survive, but thrive during those 30 days, you can afford to do the things that you want to do, right? And so that transitional gap, and it varies depending on where you're at, of course, from August to October. But there's always that little slowdown, right? You know what I'm talking about. You felt it, right? And it's not like you intentionally let off the gas, right? But that's the problem because you didn't physically have anything to do with the problem. You just kind of accept it because you're like, well, there's nothing I can do about it. That's the economy or that's the world or whatever. And so here's my challenge. And it looks like we got some more lives on here. What's up? We got Brian on there, the lighting lizard. What's up, Mike Long? Good to see you. Far out for sure. I'm basically dressed up like who I want to be in life. I wish I could have been a drug dealer in the 70s. So it would have been so cool. But so here's my challenge to you for those that have dealt with this, or you're going to deal with it at some point over the next 12 months. Don't lose a month, right? So you've got 12 months in a year, which means that just over 8% is each month, right? So if you lose a month because of the economy or whatever excuse you're leaning on, that could be the difference between you going next level. Like that could be all of your profits, like 1 month. And the problem is sometimes we're like, oh, I had a big month this month. So now I can, again, no one's intentionally being like, I'm going to be lazy now, but you just naturally let off the gas and then all of a sudden you lose a month, right? And so I like forecasting, I like planning, but don't let the knowledge of the fact that you're about to have a $400,000 quarter in Christmas let you let off the gas for the month. Does that make sense? Because sometimes that's what we do. We're like, hey, well, it's okay that I have a bad few weeks or a month because I'm about to make a shit ton of money, right? And that's the danger of it, right? So stick with me. If you flip the script and said, we're not even sure we're going to have any Christmas light sales, you're going to be a lot more resilient in solving the slowdown problem. Are you with me? Do you agree? So work like you're broke. All right. Wake up like you don't have that $400,000 month ahead of you or the $400,000 quarter or whatever your thing that you know you're about to have. Work like you're broke and find a way to solve the problems. The most successful person will solve more problems faster. Right. And I don't have time really right now to break down the steps because, again, in just a minute, we got Angela Schroeder coming on to give us all a boost in morale, a boost in positivity, a boost in happiness and courage, which we're going to talk about. But I don't have the time to break this down right now, but I want to give you two things right now that will help you stay ahead of any slowdown. Okay. So talking about planning and forecasting is like, well, if you know you're going to slow down, well, then a few months before that, what are you going to do to prevent the slowdown? Right. Don't just accept the cards that are dealt to you. So number one, you got to get heavy on and you got to push and you can't just wait is for client referrals. And a lot of people get client referrals. If you're doing a good job, they just naturally come. But what are you doing to proactively get client referrals? Okay. And again, I don't have the time to break that down. Number two, repeat business. It's the same person. You're going to get client referrals and repeat business. And again, naturally, you probably get some now, but that doesn't mean that's all you can get. Like, what are you doing to proactively get repeat business? And then number three, I think I told you two things, but I like to over deliver. So here's number three. We're going to give you number three, even though I said two, because I did think of another one when I was putting this together, referral partners. Okay. So if you can get these referral partners, if you can win these categories, win all three of these categories, you win the recession game. You avoid the slowdown. Right. And kind of a quick pro tip before I wrap up. The best way to figure this stuff out is look at last year, look at the year before, look at your 3-year history. If you only have 1 year history, look at that. But you'll see the trends that happen in your area. You'll see, wow, I always slow down in August, right? So what should you be doing 3 months before that to minimize the slowdown? Maybe you can't do what you can do in April, right? But maybe you can minimize it. And if you minimize that slowdown, what's that going to do to your business? You'll be surprised how much it's going to add to your bottom line. So don't accept the cards that are dealt. Create, don't wait. Get ahead of the game, solve the problem, win the game. What up, JC? Not sure who's hosting. He's way better than Riley. He's so much better. But this guy is just good looking. Thanks, sir. I appreciate that because, this is who I want to be. I'm actually finally being honest with myself and the world on who I want to be. What's up, Chaka? Did you ever order materials in bulk when you had your lighting business? Absolutely. Not at first because I couldn't afford it. But for sure, that's definitely one of the ways to create more profit is to cut your expenses, right? And if you can shave some expenses by ordering in bulk, that's a great way to do it. You just have to be careful because the last thing you want to do is there's a lot of people right now, the leads slow down and now they're sitting on a ton of inventory that could be cash, and that cash could be turned into like labor. It could be turned into advertising, which would give you more revenue. So you just got to be careful about it. But for sure, a certain percentage of your profits should be stashed away every month so that you can order in bulk. Great question. All right, guys, that's enough about me. So my challenge again, go prevent the slowdown, get client referrals, repeat business, referral partners, report back. Let me know how it goes. Don't just show up to the podcast and be like, oh, yeah, that was cool. You had a wig on. Go and make something of it. All right, guys. All right, guys. Well, I'm excited. It's time to get our guest on here. This is the purpose of the show anyway. So if you guys are ready, let me know in the comments. Let's get the music going, huh? What is up? What is up? Welcome to the show, Miss Angela Schroeder. How are you?
I am great. Excited to be here.
Merry Christmas. Happy Halloween. What's going on?
Oh, it's so fun that we did costumes. So fun.
I love
At
it.
the very last minute, I showed up, you were in costume, and I thought I can't miss out.
That was impressive. You guys, literally like 10 minutes ago, Angela was in her traditional brand colors. And all of a sudden I'm like, what? How did that happen? And now you look lovely. I've never seen you in anything other than the black dress.
Black, yeah.
Is
I'm
this-
always in all black.
Yeah, this is crazy. Well, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Yes, thanks for having me.
And happy Halloween. You guys are going trick-or-treating after this. Is that right?
We are. Yes.
Yeah. I love
JC
it.
has an adventure plan. So I did have the costume ready and sitting right by me that I was putting on. So
Yeah. And then you're like, well, if Ryan's
might
going
as well
to
be
do this.
festive.
Yeah, I love it. So can I ask you what is behind the like I always have a Landscape Lighting Secrets logo shirt on, my same pants and my same shoes. But what's the purpose of your all in black?
All black.
Same. Yeah.
So I wore a lot of black before. Black's my favorite color. It's slimming. It just made me happy when I wore it. And then I did make a decision to pretty much wear it all of the time to eliminate decision fatigue. And there's so many people out there that do that wear the same thing every day. I don't wear the exact same thing every day, but it minimizes decisions. And I'm a huge believer in that we only have so much decision-making capacity in a day. And the more decisions that you can eliminate and automate, the more power that you have to make big decisions, take bigger risks.
Yeah, I love that. That's why I'm always just going to wear this from here on out. I think it's a beautiful strategy.
I love it. It is a beautiful strategy. And then it becomes your brand and you know, yeah, people recognize it and ask questions, but it's also, it's amazing how many things it automates, not just the decision in the morning, but shopping, laundry, all the things.
No, I love it. I think there's something to it because I know that for me, I have like gray pants and a gray shirt, and like it's just so easy. I'm like, dude, this is so awesome. I don't have to think, and I feel like it does make other decisions that are like really important easier to make. I don't have to really think about those. I'm like, yeah, let's just do this. And the other thing I've learned is like I just make decisions. I don't really be like, well, let me think about it. Like I usually just make the decision. I don't know if this is the right thing to teach people or not, but I just make the decision and then I deal with the consequence. Like Josh Latimer told me, like action creates clarity. And like, that's kind of what it is. I'm like, I'll take the action. And then I'm like, crap, that was not the right decision. But now I know I shouldn't have done that.
I forgot to look at what was going to happen next.
Well, okay. So I'm excited to have you on. You're always smiling. You always bring this positive vibe, this overall great energy to any room that I've been in with you. And your Facebook profile says, be courageous, be the light, empower and inspire, make everyday magic. I'm like, dang, we could do like 14-hour webinar on that. What is the?
Well, thank you. I loved the affirmations. When you were talking about me before I joined, I thought I'm going to record this and just listen to your affirmations of me every morning. So
That's awesome.
thank you.
That's great. I love it. So what's behind? Let's break it apart a little bit. What's behind the Be Courageous?
So I believe I wrote a book last year called The Courageous Mind, and courage is always been a big thing for me, and I think is what separates the most successful and happiest people is they use courage more often and make big courageous decisions and also do things to support that courage. That they do things like plan out decisions. So eliminate decision fatigue, really take care of who's in their tribe, their habits, the things that they do in life to support being able to make those big courageous decisions. And those people that don't let fear stop them and are courageous lead more happy, like I said, happier and more successful lives.
Yeah, no, I agree with it. How does someone become more courageous? Because I know I've had times where I'm paralyzed by fear, can't make a decision. Other times I'm like on top of my game. It's like, do this, do this, do this. But I don't know that I've ever analyzed it. Like, why are we not courageous?
Can my answer be read the book?
Yeah, for sure. I haven't read it yet. So that
For
could
a
be
full answer, read the book.
well, give
And
us
all
give
the
us some
chapters,
cheat codes.
a synopsis. Yes.
Yeah, give us some cheat codes to
Okay. So, and we do go through seasons like that, right? Where we're paralyzed by fear. And that's one of the things I talk about, that there are seasons in our lives where we need to borrow courage from others, where we feel like we are in the zone and we are using courage instinctively. And then that we lead best when we are leading through loaning others our courage to do big things on their own as well. And things that we can do to support our courage, I kind of break it down into different categories. And some of them I talked about is being really diligent about decision fatigue. How many decisions can you eliminate that are taking out that, just providing more clarity, getting all that out of your mind so that you have the capacity to take risks and do big things. And then the other is all those things in your life, your morning ritual, your habits, the tribe and people you surround yourself with, those all support your mindset, who you are internally, and your ability to be courageous. And then the third, and maybe the most fun, is courage. And you could go forever into all of those, right? Your
Right.
tribe, and each of those are a chapter and a segment in its own. But the third is that believing that courage is a muscle, and it's something that you can strengthen the more that you step into uncomfortable more often and intentionally. And it doesn't have to be in business. It can be in all areas of your life. The more that you embrace that and know what fear feels like, recognize it, and intentionally move past it, then when fear comes up in other areas, you're just able to plow through it. You're like, hey, I recognize that feeling and I can go through it. So how do you intentionally get uncomfortable? How do you intentionally scare yourself? When you were on my show, we talked about, you challenged me to do the cold plunge, and I did.
Yeah. I was just thinking about, I was like, dude, that's why I like to get in cold water, because I hate getting in cold water.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to go jump in a lake right now because it's terrifying. It's like, that's the last thing my mind wants to do. My body's like, don't do it. It's going to be freezing. It's going to hurt. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm going to go do it.
Exactly. And doing it. And we had that conversation and you challenged me, and I was like, oh God, I'm gonna have to get in that cold water. And it was amazing for so many reasons, but I think the most important was just pushing past that fear, pushing past intentionally getting uncomfortable. And so how many times can you do that, and in what ways? And those make fun stories. Just a couple weeks ago, JC surprised me and flew in my kids that are adults now. They're 21 and 23. And we made a last minute decision on Thursday night over cocktails to go
Uh-oh.
skydiving on Sunday.
No way.
And
That's awesome.
yeah.
This was
And
this Sunday?
just
Like
this
last
was a
week?
couple weeks ago,
Okay.
like 2 weeks ago. And not planned out, literally decided on Thursday night that we were going to go Sunday. It had been on a someday list for all of us. Like someday we would go skydiving, each of us. And we just decided to do it. And it was incredible. It's a whole different level of, I'd say, fear and uncomfortable watching your kids jump out of a plane
Wow, yeah, that's true.
than jumping out of a plane yourself. But it was such an incredible experience. So how many times can you do that? How many times can you do things? Get in cold water. It doesn't have to be jump out of a plane, but those things all contribute. Doing those things, embracing that feeling, contribute to doing big things in business in all areas of your life.
Okay, cool. I like that because there are some things that you can do because I think as like our just natural human beings, we're not just naturally courageous. I do believe all the things that you just said, you have to work on
Yeah.
it. I like the tribe thing. Like who are you surrounding yourself with? Because most of us, at least I'll just speak for me. As an entrepreneur, I can go out to my street right here and there's no other entrepreneurs right here. They all work for
Mhm.
software companies and like they're not going to help me build courage. They're going to like talk me out of courage. Like, why are you doing like do you ever get scared? Like what happens if the economy
Mm.
tanks? How are you going to provide for your family? I mean, they're like the anti, right? Like come join us. It's the comfortable way. So, but I do like that because as entrepreneurs, it is lone wolf, man. It's like even we can't even talk to about it with our spouse, usually our kids, our team members, the people that work with us. Like we can't tell them that we're afraid because they're relying on us to be the courageous hero, and we have to like act the part. And we're just like, I'm scared. I don't know what I'm doing. So if you do have that tribe, you do have like these people, which was why we have masterminds and meetups and stuff like that. You're right. I never really thought about that. Like my tribe gives me my courage. I love that.
For sure. And it's been said for so long, like you become like the 5 people you surround yourself with. But I think for so long we put tribe just into this category of these people lift me up and, inspire me. And that's what's important. But the people that you really let in your circle, like you hit the nail on the head when you said, all of your neighbors, even most times our spouse, our partner, other people, our family, different people close to us, they're not safe spaces to have those conversations. And when it comes to courage and worry, are the people that we are sharing our dreams and our fears with determine our what if conversations. So we all know that we are telling a million stories in our head every single day. And stories create worry or stories create imagination and possibility. And the people that you are sharing your dreams and fears with determine those what if conversations. You said it exactly. You go out in the street and those people want you to join them. Like, what if you fail? What if that doesn't work out? And, people that aren't business owners ask you those questions and they can't help it. They don't have the same kind of mentality. And if you tell them your fears, they're just going to make you spiral down even further. Whereas a tribe of other entrepreneurs ask you what if questions that make you think bigger and higher and tell yourself different stories.
Wow, that is huge. I want the soundbite of what you just said. That was way good. I can't even.
Thank you.
I cannot add to that. So we'll just like period. Mic drop. Okay, that was so good. Say that one thing you just said. You're like stories create worry or something.
Yes. So our tribe determines our what if questions. And what if questions determine that, worry. Are we worrying? Are we spiraling down in worry and our fears? Or are those what if questions spiraling us up and creating us to think bigger and more dreams? So the stories that we tell ourselves, those what if conversations are determining the stories that we tell ourselves in our mind.
That is so good. And then literally that like creates Like that's like creation at its finest. That like creates our future right there. And
Mhm.
and I know
Exactly.
you believe this too. Like that's why like people are failing and that's why people are succeeding. Like it's like that's the secret sauce right there, you guys. That's huge. Um, courage is risk, right? We don't absolutely know like what's going to be the end result, right? There's um if we knew, it
Mhm.
wouldn't really require courage. So a lot of it is taking risks, and those can be super scary. I've learned like I have a hard time with this because I don't want to tell everyone just take all the risks. It's like easy because like sometimes people do take risks and then they fail, and I'm like, ooh, like you probably should have thought that one through. Like do you have anyone you could have asked like for some advice? So it's like you say calculated risk is what I say, but how do we know when it's like a good risk, a good calculated risk versus
I don't know if I'm a good person to ask that question on the calculated risk part. I am the ultimate visionary of I make a lot of decisions without figuring out that calculated risk. But I will go back to the story part of it. And if you jump, you better be telling yourself the right story, right? So you can take a
Yeah.
risk, calculated or not, of it could be calculated how much it was going to work out. But I guarantee what determines if it works out or not, a lot of it is the story you're telling yourself. Once you took that risk, you better be all in and telling yourself the story of it is absolutely going to work and you are going to find a way, make a way. If you take a risk and are already like halfway in, it's probably not going to work, no matter what the numbers said in those calculations of if it was going to work or not. People
Yeah.
can make things work that had no chance of working.
All because of the story? I love that. I've had people like join my coaching program and they're asking questions like they're already doubting everything. Like,
Yep.
what if it doesn't work? And like, what guarantee do you have? I'm like, what? Like that, why are you asking that question? Like that doesn't even make sense to me. Like you should be asking like, what if it does work? Like when it does, like all these things. So those types of people, I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna be a good fit for you. Like I don't know that you're there mentally yet. Because you're dead on. Like if you make that choice, like you better be all in. You actually just took a risk. You actually just demonstrated some courage recently and moved to North Carolina, right?
I did. So you said in the intro, everyone in Nebraska, most popular show in Nebraska. And I was born and raised in Nebraska, built multiple businesses there, was my home. I lived in rural Nebraska and then Omaha for the last 47 years. I guess I'll say my age. And just moved a couple months ago to North Carolina.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations for being courageous and taking
Thank
risks
you.
in life. How does it
Yes.
how does it feel? Like what are some of your thoughts now where you're like, "Oh, I didn't like, we make moves. Sometimes we don't even know the risks that are happening and the courage that we're taking. We feel like we know enough to make a decision, but then when we get into it, we find out other things. What are some of the unknowns that you didn't know until you got there?
So I wouldn't say like calculated risk in this scenario. I was confident about the move and am still confident and overjoyed about the move to move to North Carolina to be with JC and all that we are building. And we talked about like in the last 2 months of hardly ever being home and all of the great experiences that we've gotten to travel with and things. But it was a very visionary decision in comedic ways, I would say. There weren't necessarily a lot of risks. I have a company that is international. My kids are adults. So there weren't things that I couldn't physically pick up and move and live anywhere. But I laugh about a lot of the things that I took absolutely no time to plan out, research, think about things that would change in my life. I am huge on like daily rituals and those decisions, things in my life. Took no time to plan those out. And then things that I tell everybody that is so comical. A lot of people think I'm from Nebraska and it's in the middle of cornfields and nothing.
It
Omaha
is.
is a town of 500,000 people. It's quite large.
You can say that, but we know you live in it. That's fine.
And one of the funniest things that right away I realized this is funny to everyone because I didn't realize how much I depended on it. I asked JC, I said, is there not an Apple store here? I do love the Apple store. It was right next to where I lived, and I loved going there all the time for them to fix my things. And then you just don't realize all the things you become dependent on. I have delivered groceries I just loved the ease of all the time delivering groceries, and evidently use DoorDash way too much.
So you're telling me they not only don't have an Apple store, but they don't have DoorDash where you live now?
Not really.
And you moved from Nebraska where there was only cornfields and that was it. That's crazy. See, the irony.
Beach.
The beach, how far away is the beach?
15 minutes.
Oh, well, that's not bad. So there's some trade-offs there, you know.
It's a great exchange.
Yeah.
I'll give up the Apple store.
That's actually really funny. So you moved from Nebraska where there's nothing, but apparently they had an Apple store in the middle of the cornfield and
really good grocery delivery.
Yeah, great grocery delivery in those fields.
My poor kids, never mind that I might miss, meals with my kids each week. I put the Apple store and DoorDash ahead of that, apparently.
Yeah, the things that really matter, Apple store, DoorDash. That's hilarious.
I just think they're funny in that it's just a parallel to me of visionary entrepreneurs. So many of the listeners, I'm sure, are the times that you're like, oh, and then don't think of the numerous little steps and it's okay, right? Yep. If we would think about them, how might we get bogged down in figuring out how everything worked out before we just made a decision and made it work?
Yeah, I think that's where I think most people need to be a little bit more aggressive and just like make the decision. And, that you're going to have to accept some things like there's no Apple store here. There's going to be some things that feel like a failure, right? And I know that's nice because it's kind of like a humorous one. Yes. But like when I launched my landscape lighting business, oh my gosh, dude, I didn't do any research. I just moved to Texas and started a lighting business. When I started this business, this coaching business, I started it without a logo, without a name. I was like, hey guys, I'm doing this thing. I think it might work. Not really sure. Do you want to be a part of it? And people said yes. Right. And so it's like, I could have been like, you know what, over the next 3 years, I'm going to do some research and I'm going to get some case studies and I'm going to figure out all the things. And I wouldn't have even launched yet. Right. But look at all the people that we've been able to help so far. Right. So I do think there is a huge element of being courageous, taking risks if you want to see success, and success is defined so many different ways. But yeah, it's definitely you got to be willing to not have an Apple store in your life, right? So let's talk about Unique Genius. We actually just engaged your services. What is Unique Genius all about?
Yes, so Unique Genius virtual assistants. We help business owners do what they do best and delegate the rest through the use of virtual assistants. That's the little key tagline there.
Sounds so good.
You talked about in your intro about you love helping business owners do you love every piece of what you're doing and to get rid of the areas that suck. And that's what I have always been passionate about. So I opened my first business, a dance studio, right out of college, soon started helping other dance studio owners and entered the realm of business coaching and consulting. And to me, it's always been about that, of helping people like reclaim loving their business and loving their life. We write the rules and you don't have to do the things you don't want to do. And you're going to hate your business and hate your life if you do. And so we work with business owners. I started off doing a lot of executive assistance, just personal assistance to a business owner, because I believed so passionately in that, of how can I help you operate in your unique genius, which is, I believe, your strengths, your God-given talents, what you do best that takes only you, things that fuel your fire, that you enjoy doing, that don't suck. and that align with your mission and vision and get you closer to your goals. And if they don't match all those things, how do we get them off of your plate? And many times we can do that with a virtual assistant. So we've expanded to do all kinds of things. We help tons of home service businesses with admin help, social media, client follow-up, all kinds of things. Virtual assistants are just amazing rock stars. And we have a unique model that isn't just like, here's your virtual assistant, good luck, that we stay involved with the business owner, and the virtual assistant stays part of our culture ongoing to provide professional and personal development for both people.
I think it's so cool. I love the model because in the past I had hired a couple of VAs, and I think the mentality of someone like myself, these visionaries, is like, oh, cool, I'll hire someone, and then that means I don't have to do it, which like I'm good. But we don't really we don't have like the training. We just gotta like, here, do the thing, and we expect them to like have the same passion for our business, even though they have no equity, they get paid jack, and we're like, well, why don't you care? Like, because they don't have equity and they don't get paid jack, So like, I do love what you do because it gives it so much more structure, and there's accountability, and there's training, and there's all the stuff that comes along with it, instead of just like, yeah, I heard about this virtual assistant thing. Let me go online and find one. Like, I don't like that strategy at all. I've tried it. Doesn't work.
And it doesn't work for most people. And it's a nightmare because of what you said. Like, a visionary entrepreneur, and this is how many people use virtual assistants. There's a visionary entrepreneur that we know, we have that mentality. I do not want to do what sucks. I'm not going to do what sucks. So I'm going to hire a virtual assistant and have them do the things I don't want to do. But as visionaries, we communicate in ideas, not in tasks. And that's the single most important thing I've found in matching virtual assistants properly, is if they are matched with a visionary or an integrator. So if you are a visionary, you need a virtual assistant that is a project manager, that you can communicate the way that you communicate. You can communicate ideas, and they take those ideas and create them into processes, and then somebody executes the task. Maybe when you're starting, they still have to execute the task. As you build, you have both of those layers. You have somebody who takes your ideas, puts them into processes, and then somebody else executes the tasks. But far too often, visionaries get a task doer. Wow. And you don't communicate in tasks. You communicate in ideas. You're like, I want to start a podcast. It's going to be awesome. Go do the things to make the podcast successful.
Wow. So was all your market research just recording me trying to make a VA work the last 2 years?
Or myself.
That's literally what I did. Like what you just said, I'm like, no, I do. I communicated ideas. They were in tasks, and it was like, what is going on? It's like another language, because it was.
Yes.
Oh, that's huge. I love that. See, guys, Angela's amazing. Hire her immediately. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. I want to give away some money. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to do gift card giveaway, guys. If you guys are here live, we're going to give away some money as soon as I find the button to play the music. You guys ready? Gift card giveaway. All right, guys, it's everyone's favorite time to play gift card giveaway, and the music like matched like the Halloween. It has. I realize it has like a Halloween vibe to it. So, gift card giveaway. This is your chance to win free money. All you have to do is be the first person to answer this question correctly, and you get a $50 Visa gift card from me. Last week we gave away 2. I mean, it was just like one of those things. We just decided to do 2, and that's what we did. And we had 2 winners, and it was great. So here's the question. You have to be the first person to answer correctly. And you also, it has to be the answer that I think is correct. It could be that you have the correct answer that really is right, but it has to be what I wrote down. Okay. So weird rules, I know, but it's my show and I make the rules. So just, get over it. All right. So here's the question. Oh wait, where's the question? Here's the question. So I wrote this down. Sometimes lighting is kind of like Mexican food. Okay. It's the same ingredients, just delivered in a different way. Which, don't you think, like, it's like an enchilada is just like a burrito, but they have like the rice and beans on the outside. It's like if you just
Yes.
put it in, it's like the same thing. So like you could just close your eyes and just like pick the thing. So lighting's a little bit more complex than that, but certain lamps are kind of like that. So the most common lamps are an MR16, followed by like a bipin, a wedge, another type called SCB and DCB. So it's a 2-answer question. You got to get them both right. What does SCB and DCB stand for? Okay, so talking about lamps, Emery Allen is the well, I'm paying for it, but this is an Emery Allen gift card giveaway because it's lamp related, or shall I say socket or base related, but SCB and DCB. So I need the answer for two answers. SCB and DCB. What do they stand for? All right. So, and I'm going to be very picky on this, guys. Don't abbreviate anything because SCB and DCB stands for something very particular. Angela, do you know the answer as a lighting specialist?
I do not. I'm just beginning to learn about.
You should take a
lamp
guess.
lighting.
Just guess. What does SCB stand for? Just guess.
I can't even take an educated guess.
I know. That's why it would be funny. Come on.
I don't even have any words. SCB.
SCB.
Where's
something.
my lifeline?
Oh, dude.
I feel like
Forgot
they
to play
seem
the
to be
thinking music.
screaming the answer through the door.
I know. Well, he may not know. He's fairly new in the landscape lighting world. All right. So here's the answer. Let me see who got it first. Looks like Mike Long got it right first. Oh, wait. Did he? No, he didn't. Mike, that is not the right answer. It's close. It's close. There's some close ones. This one got half the answer. The winner is single contact bayonet. And wait, this is not the answer that I had either. Hold on, Greg, you're wrong. Where it might be Brian. Let's see. Single contact bayonet, double contact bayonet. That's what I had written down. Brian Dank wins again. This guy is unstoppable. Congratulations, Brian. That's awesome. He's won like 5,000 times. We got him on payroll, I think. So we'll just do the auto pay. I think we got him on auto pay. So single contact bayonet, double contact bayonet. Nothing else to really talk about. It's just the type of base on how the lamp goes into the socket. So congratulations, Brian. I thought that Mike Long won, and then I thought that Greg Matthews won, but Brian Dank, you win. Gift card giveaway. All right, so congratulations. Thanks for playing, guys. We'll do it again next week. So let's kind of finish up our discussion here. We're talking about unique genius. What are some of the kind of common concerns when business owners reach out to you? Concerns or misconceptions that they have about hiring a VA?
So misconceptions, I think a lot of them come from the nightmare experiences out there, the experiences and frustrations other people have had because they entered this unsupported. So they didn't know how to burrito, taco, all the same.
I know. I kind of did set it up like that. So it was like, contact, bayonet, base,
It made me think a strange thing about Mexican food. Then I'll go back to that. If you ate Mexican food blindfolded, would you be able to tell the difference in any of the things? Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, these are deep thoughts by Angela Schroeder.
Deep thoughts. Anyway, so just hearing a lot of that, horror experiences. Somebody that found a VA, just quickly tried to find a VA through one of the services online, didn't know what they were doing, qualifying a VA, didn't get them someone that was matched for them, and then didn't have any ongoing support. So we often don't know how to delegate. Not only do we not get matched with the right person and find the right person with the right skill set for us, but then we don't know what to do. We don't know how to delegate. We think delegating sounds like a great idea, but we don't know how to take ideas off of our plate. We might not know how to create those processes and get those in the positions. And I think a lot of people just think they are elementary task doers, that they're doing just like basic jobs and data entry. And these are professionals that are extremely skilled. I entered the virtual assistant space through the accounting space, and there are people that, I mean, are just crazy rock stars. I love working with people that are so surprised by the skill set of their VAs. They're like, okay, this is my profession. This is what I do. Like, this is my business. And I thought I was the expert. And you found me somebody for my business that knows more about, for example, QuickBooks and bookkeeping and the rules. They know more than I do. I thought I was going to create the processes, and nope, let's just go with yours. So they're just so knowledgeable. And when you pair them right, like you said, they're just doing jobs, they're not invested. But if you really foster that relationship, they are your partner in success. Like, they want to be your partner in creating success and have a great relationship with you. And like, they are rock stars that have skills that you can, really build your business with. And the difference in us having a community means that they can bring a lot more to the table, because they are constantly in part of environments that get ever-changing technology, ideas in each of the industry. So they're not just doing tasks, they're bringing new ideas, creativity, and expertise to the table to help you grow your business.
No, that's cool. I like what you said earlier too, and I think it's where one thing that's overlooked is it might not just be one hire. It might be like, well, you need a project manager, like you need someone to manage this person or whatever. How does someone know when they're ready to hire a VA? And like, some people are like, well, I'm not ready because I got to spend time building the systems, or I got to get the training stuff ready. And it's like the chicken and the egg thing. Like, well, but no, you
Yeah.
need someone to build that for you, right?
You need
So
somebody to build it for you. You're always going to wait. So it's one of those things of, you've got to jump before you're ready. Like, if you are feeling any sense of overwhelmed or things that suck that you don't like doing, just imagine. And a lot of people hesitate because they don't think. We work on a full-time system, which is a whole nother thing we can talk about, because we only work with VAs that are career-minded, career-focused, and want to be your full-time partner, not just a freelancer who is working for you project-based and might be working with 20 other businesses, right? Then they're not invested as your partner to grow your business. But people have the fear that they don't have 40 hours, and that's okay. You're going to grow into it. They're going to grow into the task. They're going to bring ideas to the table. But with 10 more hours in your week, how could you grow your business? That's what people need to look at and think of, the ROI of, if it's an executive assistant. If you have 10 more hours a week to grow your business, they're going to work for you for 40 hours and they'll find other stuff. But even if you had 10 more hours to go out and build your business, you could definitely pay for that person right away. Like, you're going to see the difference in the first month in what it's going to take off your plate so that you can build your business. And gradually you'll get your creativity and your life back. If it's in your business, the biggest thing for a business is plugging the holes in the boat. Like you said, people think, oh, I got to build out all the processes. Well, let's bring somebody on to see where the gaps are, to see all the prospects that you're not following up with. That how can we plug the holes in the boat so every prospect is getting followed up with? We're not missing any of those leads, completely taking them all the way through, that we're giving all of our clients more touches and an incredible experience. And you're going to see the ROI on that right away. And then you can go back and build the processes, and they will help you build the processes. If you wait until you build the processes, that's going to happen next year, just like you said it was going to happen last year.
right. No, I love it. I love it because it's true. I just want to share something real quick. I'm like in such a good mood because I hired an integrator, you know, Jerica, And
Yes.
she hasn't been with us long, maybe 4 months or something, but it's so cool because she hired Unique Genius to get a VA, and now we have a full-time VA. And the best part about it is like I didn't have to do anything. Like it feels so good to like be able to have that. And I'm like buying my time back, and that feels so good. And then I'm gonna eventually have enough time where that I'm buying back that I'm like, I can't like I love what you said because people are worried, like, well, I don't have 40 hours for them to stay busy. But you switch it and be like, no, what if it just adds another 5, 10 hours to your week? What could you do with that? And that's powerful because we all know what we would do if we had 5 or 10 more hours, we could take over the world.
Exactly.
I love that. Okay, cool. So if someone wants to get more information, look into that, how do they get in touch with you for Unique Genius?
Yeah. So anywhere on social media, Angela Bangs at Angela Bangs Schroeder on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Our website is unique-genius.com.
Okay, cool. And then you also you've got you've Courageous Mind. Is that how do they get how do they get a copy of the book?
Send me a
And
private
reach out?
message and I'll send you a signed copy.
Nice. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. Okay, so reach out, get a signed copy of the Courageous Mind.
It's
And
on Amazon as well, but I'm just throwing that out there. If you message me, I'll send you a signed copy.
yeah, but you're not going to get a signed copy on Amazon.
That's right.
You also have your own weekly podcast called Unleash Your Courage.
So yes, that began. I didn't really have an aspiration to start a podcast, but through a long series of open doors and another like courageous decision of I don't know why this makes sense, but I'll just walk through some open doors. Turf's Up Radio offered me my own show, and I thought, why would I be on a Turf's Up Radio? But it's been an incredible year. So that's a live show every week and podcast. And then JC and I have a podcast called In the Foxhole, where we talk about and love that one. Talk to incredible business owners. We just asked you to be a guest, so you'll be coming up soon. But talk to business owners, not just about the success stories, but about those moments when things didn't go well, when you were in the trenches, how you got out, and who was there for you.
I love it. It's a great podcast. I haven't listened to every episode, but I've listened to several, and I do love that about it. It's like not just like, oh my gosh, you're awesome and whatever, but like, how did you become awesome? Like, what was the grind behind it? So that's cool.
Yeah.
I want to ask you this before we wrap up too. Like, you really are like so positive. Be courageous, be the light, empower and inspire, make everyday magic. Like, I love that, right? But why are you doing this? Why are you on this mission to change the world?
Oh, that's a deep question.
We got time.
Why are you on a mission to change the world? And I am one person at a time. Like, how many lives can you impact? And in the way, I think it shifts in different matters of having to do that, but that people really have that joy in their lives, that they know that they are the leader of their lives, that they can write their own rules, and that, success and happiness is different for each person, but that they're in control of that. We don't have to do the things that suck. I just wrote that down and like circled it and underlined it all over from your introduction of, I love helping people know that they are in control of that. They don't have to do anything that sucks. And maybe that's the version, that's what success means. How much of your life that you can not do things that suck, that you can have fun and absolutely love your life, whatever it is that you want to do. And I am blessed to be, thank you for saying that, I'm positive and portray that. And I am like beyond blessed to be in an incredible and joyful season of my life, and just have an amazing tribe of people like you, and get to partner with JC on life and business and so many things. I tried to stay positive and influence, and impact people, but it hasn't always been, butterflies and roses. I've been through a lot of stuff that was bad, but we get to write the script about it and write the script for our future and change. And now I do feel like I'm living a dream, and how can I help more people feel like they're living in a dream every day?
That's cool. I feel like you're living in a dream too.
Ah.
And I want some of that. Like, I'm trying to kick you out and let me live with JC.
Okay.
I want
You
to be
can
in
come
on it.
visit.
But no, it's awesome. And I think offline, literally, I'm gonna dig deeper because I want to know like the why. Like I kind of want to know some of the reasons. Because for me, like, man, it was hard running my lighting business. And there was days where like I lied to myself and I told myself it was awesome. But then there was times where I just like, dude, I just want to give up. I want to go get a job. Like this sucks. And that's my like mantra now, like go to work because you want to, not because you have to. And I feel like, again, like I don't hang out with you 24/7, whatever. And so I know like life's not always perfect, but I legitimately feel like you've figured out some pretty cool stuff. You've got some good formulas, some frameworks, some things that keep you in this flow state and keep you uplifted and stuff. And it's really awesome because you've figured out the things that you don't want to do and do suck. And you've replaced yourself in those regards. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to help other people do as well. So I love what you're doing, and I'm going to keep supporting it.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, thanks for coming on the show, Angela. Offline, I'm going to peel back that onion even more, and we're going to get down to the root of why and how you're doing all this. But I really appreciate you coming on here. Thanks so much. And everybody else, have an awesome week. We'll talk to you next week. Be safe out there trick or treating. All right.
Thanks so much for having me.
Okay. See you, Angela.